Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Am I the Asshole podcast, where we're doing things exactly the same way we've always done. Nothing to see here, nothing's new. I'm Sarah Levine here with my lovable and lovely, it's a gender-neutral term, co-host Danny Vega. Danny, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, things are fine. No juice for you today. This is my impression of you.
Ooh.
Sarah never has
Oh my
juice.
God, that was very accurate. I loved it.
Stop asking
Loved
me
it.
personal questions, you fucking creep.
How am I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I'm really excited for today's episode because we're here with a very special guest, here by popular demand, Danny Murphy. Welcome.
I mean, hi, how are we doing? How are we feeling? What's the vibe in this podcast for you, Sarah? I'm the guest in this home.
I know this is a lot of pressure, I feel. I don't know. It's weird. Since, we're not talking about serial killers. Danny is the co-host of our true crime podcast called Not Another True Crime Podcast. And yeah, usually we talk about, cults, crimes, scams, that kind of stuff. Assholes in a different way.
Assholes in very different ways. I also love too, Sarah. All your podcasts involve acronyms. Like that's kind of the energy you bring to a Zoom link. Yeah.
Oh my
Is
God.
there-
Yeah, like a million random letters.
What is there
That is
beyond
my legacy.
NATCP? Like, what else is there? Like serial killer acronyms or what?
MLM. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like PI, private investigator?
Well, that's true. We have our SVU, our CSI,
There we go.
NCIS.
And see, ooh, true.
Wow,
So
it
it is
doesn't
kind of
end.
on theme. Yeah. SVU, God bless.
I'm happy
So
that
true.
the judicial system isn't like, how do you find the defendant? G. Okay. He killed
YTA.
Yeah, he killed 4 people. Can we say the word guilty?
Love it. Well, I'm excited to have Danny on. Danny, this is a little known fact about Danny, guys. He is a vegan.
I thought you were going
I
to say
say
I'm an
little known
asshole.
because he never talks about it.
I literally thought you were going to say a
No.
little known fact about Danny. He's an asshole. And I was going to log off.
I would never.
Yeah, I'm a vegan, but I think that's a good thing that I feel like it's a compliment to, I'm trying to raise awareness to other vegans by not raising awareness about being a vegan because it's just I show don't tell. I don't bring it up. I just eat my tempeh in silence. You know what I mean?
Literally, we'll just be like, oh, right, but I have to order this fake cheese. And you're like, oh, man, I completely forgot.
Fake cheese is delicious though. Sarah did try fake cheese this week and she liked it.
Yeah.
Kind of as heavy
Pretty
as
good.
normal cheese, which is good, cheesy.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
not
it'll
bad.
make you feel just as gross inside as regular cheese, and I think that's progress
Absolutely.
in the food science.
And you're
Has technology gone too far?
and I actually learned Danny was vegan from TikTok because I posted a TikTok saying I don't dislike vegans, and you're like, oh, I'm vegan, so it worked out. It brought us together. The power of TikTok.
I know. I feel like we're the two Dannys in Sarah's lives, and I feel like we should really connect more on a lot of
true.
levels.
It's true. You guys
I'm
should have
down.
little conventions without me.
Okay, D&D. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. We'll just have everyone come, and they're like, "Do you have the game for that? Like, what is that? Is that played on a mat or something?" I have no clue. And we're like, "No, it's just Danny and Danny."
We need to split the difference between assholes and criminals. So what lies between? I guess being lawyers is kind of.
I mean, I guess so, but also what about criminals that lie in between your asshole? You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
it is a
boy.
slutty summer, and I don't care what your rap sheet is, and that's
Wow.
just the energy I'm putting in.
Hell yeah.
So excited for you.
Well, we got some business to cover. So we got a new patron, Bethan. Welcome to the Patreon, paying us in pounds. We love to see it. I think so.
Woo.
Were those pounds, Sarah, or lira?
I
I don't know
Yes.
what currencies are.
don't think they have that
I
anymore.
gotta stop talking shit about Britain because now we got a British patron. So thank you.
Yes.
We got a couple 5-star reviews. Danny, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but basically all the listeners hate me and they love Sarah. So this is like a recurring theme on the podcast.
No, everybody loves Danny because he sings and has the best puns.
That is what I lack in knowing anything about anything, I do make up for in singing just randomly. So we
It's
can bring
true.
it up.
Wow.
I'm
And,
3
Hillary
drinks in,
Duff
so we can make
facts.
a song happen.
So we got a 5-star review. 5 stars because honestly, I just want to be friends with Sarah. And then their username was Danny's Cool too. I don't really appreciate that.
Oh, there we
I don't
go.
really appreciate that. Why don't you mention me?
Join the Patreon. Come to our happy hours bi-weekly. You can be friends with
Also,
us.
You guys have happy hours?
we do. You should
Just started
come. Oh my
this
God, you should come. There's people
yesterday.
who love you in our Patreon. They bring you up. I love you.
Yes.
Okay,
fans.
I'm coming. Where? Yeah, I will find a way.
Another review, Fave Pod, 5 stars. This is good. This is good. I started to read this. I go, this is gonna raise my
Love it.
self-esteem. This is gonna be good for my day. This is hands down my favorite podcast. I'm like, yep, this is a great day. Not gonna lie, I was quite annoyed
Love
by
it.
Danny at first. Why? However, I've really come to love him. Okay. Sometimes he still says things that are irritating. Fine. But Sarah typically straightens him out. And he's always willing to listen and grow as a person. Thanks for all.
Was that from your therapist? Like,
I don't know. I don't know who these people are, but they're all upset with me usually. They always they love to neg me. It's fine. It's just part of what we do.
well, if you piss off if you piss off British people, they're gonna neg you because negging is such a British thing.
So British. Have you been negged by a Brit?
So, I've been negged and pegged. Let me tell you that much. I studied abroad,
Wow.
so
I didn't know you were so.
Well,
Are you?
I'll talk about that on your
Yeah.
Patreon.
Are you okay? Is that where we get the sex? I didn't because you're making a lot of sex jokes. I didn't figure you for a sex joke kind of guy. I don't know why.
Well, not on true crime because that's
Mm.
kind of where we like. I feel like that's like try to reserve it, but I mean, I think it's just one of those things where like it's fun to talk about. I'll talk about anything. So basically, it's that.
Love it. Well, here's some sex topics for you.
Also, I feel like we don't usually have wine when we're recording true crime, and that's probably
That's
where
true.
the sex jokes come in
Got
more.
it.
Yeah, I was truly just like before this drinking wine with my roommates talking about how single we are. So I think it's like top of mind.
Well,
Love
get
it.
ready for this. I said in a previous episode, I believe this was with Shannon, wonderful guest, that blue balls are men just trying to, oh, my balls hurt, so have sex with me. And I said it was bullshit. And I believe, too, I can't find the other one, but Justin reached out to me, and I think someone else did, too, and were like, you don't know shit about blue balls. And they sent me articles. Justin writes, dry hump for 2 hours and the ride home hurts like a bitch. They're swollen and tender to every touch. Trust me. The worst part is,
Oh my God, so what?
he said the worst,
Try having boobs on your period.
because your boobs hurt? Blue
Yeah.
boobs?
Also, where's Justin driving to?
She's driving.
2 hours? Like what? Like
No,
find a
he
quicker,
dry
find, like lower your hinge mile.
He
radius.
dry humped for 2 hours, Danny, and then he drove home. He didn't drive for 2 hours.
2 hours of a dry
Yeah.
hump? Were you watching The Irishman? Like what was what started that?
Couldn't stop. So he says the worst part is even if you jerk it when you get home, it doesn't go away right away. The erection does, but the balls throb. I don't relate with this. What say
Okay.
you, Danny? I'm not on board. I don't believe in blue balls.
No, and I mean, like, I'm very concerned about Justin's day to day. No shade to him, but I'm just like, where, like, dry humping for 2 hours. I feel like you need to add some other things to that, and then like, don't use the phrase "jerk it."
You know. What do you say?
That just reminds me of like jerk chicken or something like that, and that makes me the opposite of blue balls. I don't even know what that makes me. But yeah, I have never experienced them, and I don't totally. I'm not on board with their existence.
Well, somebody else reached out, but I forgot who it was. Somebody also, we talked about dick pics. I've never sent a dick pic. You sent some dick pics, Danny?
No, I've sent pics. but
I
not
don't
dick pics.
I
This is
would.
Interesting. I feel like I've probably gotten more dick pics than you guys.
Why
well,
would I?
obviously you, Danny.
I was like, it's like kind of like my seamless order. It comes to the dick pic, and I'm like, how did you know? I'm like, what's happening here? Yeah.
You just get like airdropped on the subway. That's
Yeah, I'm
happened
like,
to
no, I
people
asked
I
for
know.
lo mein, not your main child. Thank you,
Nice.
though.
So my perception was that women don't like dick pics, and somebody reached out in the listener submission forum, AITApod.com. Danny, I love dick pics. LOL. Married 47-year-old female. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn.
I think a solicited dick pic.
You need to. Is that
one
it?
thing,
You gotta ask
obviously.
for permission to send the dick pic first. Clear it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also,
you don't want some random dick, but if it's a dick that you like, why wouldn't I don't know,
Right.
why wouldn't you want a picture?
It's
of
also
that?
kind of like I don't want a random picture of like a shitty lasagna being made, but if you put like care into the photo, there's like it like looks well done and prepared
Yes.
and cleaned plate. Yeah, I'll see it. But I feel like a lot of people send half shafts, and I'm like, this is not. Who
Yeah.
does this do anything for?
Let's get this thing started. Let's play a little bit of Guess the Verdict. Danny, the game here is you simply guess the verdict. That's it. I always explain it, and it's never necessary.
That's true.
It is kind of self-explanatory. Though.
AITA for telling my wife that our dog had run away 3 years ago and I had replaced it with a look-alike.
Oh,
That's so funny.
It's a pretty good bit.
oh my god.
If you could really sell this with a straight face, I could see this playing pretty well.
Oh wait, so he didn't actually do that?
What do you mean? Yeah, he did it. Yeah. He
Oh, he did
told
it.
his
Okay.
wife,
Oh, so
Hmm.
he,
yes, he lied, right? He told her this.
But I'm just kind of like, this is like improv class has gone wrong. You know what I mean? This is a guy who's like so into like having like a story in his head. And I'm like, who is this? What is this doing anything for?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a dog lover as myself. I don't like that.
Okay, like my logical brain says no assholes here, but like I want to go NTA because the sub is very binary and tends to forget that no assholes here exists.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go with no assholes here.
Wait, so did they had the dog for 3 years? But
It's just
Or
you
he
just get the
told the right
title.
one.
You got to guess based on that. There's no further questions.
oh no, oh no, oh my god.
He's so sad.
Ah,
It's okay. It's not that big a deal if you lose. I lose all the time.
okay. I mean, okay, but that's fine. Okay, he is the
Okay,
asshole.
you're banned off the show forever.
the
You
asshole.
got it wrong. I'm just kidding. Sarah, you nailed it.
Okay, bye. Imagine I log off the Zoom. I'm like, okay, bye.
Sarah, you got it.
I'm like, fine, I'll be an asshole.
There was no assholes here.
Woo!
You nailed it.
Damn.
It was just
What? How?
It was just a joke, you know. She didn't see the humor in his little joke, but like he just says that he's writing this from the guest room where he'll be sleeping for the foreseeable future. But like he just literally, they were watching a movie and he said like the wife was like, "Do you have any confessions to make so that we could grow closer?" Because they were talking about how it feels so good to get something off your chest.
That's a losing game.
And then he
Ew,
said, "I
yeah.
replaced the dog 3 years ago," basically, and she.
So did
No.
he actually replace the dog, or was
No, it
that
was a
the
joke.
joke? Okay. Oh.
Also, I am double downing on my he's the asshole thing because who just flexes about a guest room like that so casually? He's like, it's sent from my guest room. I'm like, cool, you fucking bitch. Like, you're making jokes about your dog to your wife that you're married to, and you guys have a 2-bedroom. Meanwhile, I'm over here in Brooklyn drinking fruity seltzer.
How is she not the asshole? Because that seems like a bit of an overreaction.
No, she didn't like the joke. That was it.
Yeah.
She was pissed at the joke.
All right.
You think she's the asshole for being
Okay.
pissed? I don't know.
I don't know, for making him sleep in the guest room.
I think that was.
Whatever,
I
whatever.
think he's a funny OP.
All right.
Either that's a joke or there's more to unpack that he's not putting on Reddit.
Got to check the dog's
Like,
microchip
and I
just to
slept
be
with her
sure.
sister, but like that's beside the point.
Right.
Okay. AITA for deactivating my niece's social media when she refused to do an internet safety course.
Seems pretty harmless. She refused it. Yeah. Why would this be anything but no assholes here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too because I kind of love the energy that they're bringing because like the internet's scary.
Damn it. I think Danny told me his secret for Guess the Verdict, and now we're both doing the same thing. So, yes.
Oh boy.
You guys are right. It is no assholes here. OP has custody of his niece. The agreement, the niece is
Custody?
13. Yeah. The agreement was the niece who's 13, if she was going to have social media accounts, they'd have to be private and only accept follow requests from people she knows. OP noticed all of a sudden her page is public, and also she muted him or like soft blocked him. I don't know, restricted him. She also put a bunch of like personal identifying information in her Instagram, like her full name, her town, her school, etc.
Oh God.
So OP was like, all right, you have two options. You can take an internet safety course or deactivate all your profiles. She chose to take the course, but then basically just like lied and faked her way through the course. So OP then deleted everything. Basically the top comment was, no assholes here. You're trying to protect her safety, and she is being 13.
Well, can I say that's what makes me not love the OP though? Because why you're gonna make your niece log onto a safety course? We've all taken safety courses for work and stuff like that. When have you ever watched one or done anything with one? Sit your niece down and have a conversation with her.
I
I guess that's true. I guess I feel like when you're 13, you think the adults are being like alarmist about the internet and they don't understand, or like, you know, like, I don't know, when my parents tried to talk to me about internet chat rooms, they don't know shit. So I don't know. I feel like maybe a course could get through in a different way.
I just like I'm just sitting like imagining me being 13 and someone signs me up for an hour-long course about like cybersecurity, and my eyes just rolling backwards into my head, being like, I'm not like this is gonna make me want to like make an OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like,
That is true.
AITA for throwing out my home cooked meal. Do, 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 do.
I feel like there was something to precipitate this. I'm going to say not the asshole.
Well, I'm gonna say the asshole.
You're both wrong. Sarah, don't you know my tactics? It's everyone sucks here.
I do, but like then I thought maybe you switched
I almost
midway.
did. I almost did switch. Then I was like, stick to the plan. So here,
This isn't more
you
of a
guys-
mind game
it's
than
becoming
anything
a
else.
brutal mind. So what we do, guys, if you don't know, you can go to the asshole archives and then just sort by only everyone sucks here and only no assholes here. Danny, just so you know the statistics on this, something like 80% of situations are not the asshole. So if you just guess that, you're like pretty safe. But
Well, that would have helped me 10 minutes
yeah,
ago.
no. Well, Sarah and I are on some next level 4-dimensional chess shit with this at this point. So
Whenever I talk to Sarah, she's on Reddit. So there's that. Yeah.
Literally. Or if I'm not doing that, I'm doing what I was doing today and yesterday, which was like literally pouring through FBI case files.
love it.
Yeah. I did not know that was a thing that was able to do to the public.
I think it's for only like the really old ones where they're like, yeah, whatever. Let's get the public in on this. And I'm like, all right, me and my podcast.
So here's a story. OP is a woman cooking for a man, and they're having a big party. And she's cooking all this quote unquote Jewish AF shit, brisket, matzo ball soup, etc. Her hubs comes into the kitchen and is like, "Hey, when we get married, you're gonna cook my cultural food, not just yours."
What?
OP,
Ew.
I hate
I gotta say
every
though,
tone
like
being
I have
used.
never eaten brisket or matzo ball soup, not on a holiday.
yeah. Well, that's what OP
Okay.
likes to make.
It's not regular everyday food
OP
for me.
was very offended.
But what if someone told you, like, oh, you're eating Jewish AF food? Like, that's a weird energy to bring
OP,
to
Yeah.
your spouse or your girlfriend.
yeah, OP then angrily throws out all the food. She threw away all the soup, I guess. So it went ESH. And it was a pun. You might like this, Danny. None of this shit played out well.
None.
Of this shit played out well.
Like he's
NAAN.
Why, is
Okay,
the
I'm
husband
into that,
Indian?
But now I'm like, imagine, I'm just so sad for the wife, for the girlfriend.
me too.
Because I can't imagine. I mean, I don't cook and I am a vegan, so I have no clue what a brisket entails. But I know it takes work. I know you're basting
Oh my
something.
God,
I
yeah.
know like a preheat is at least
Oh,
involved.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, you're cooking that thing for like hours.
And also, this guy just comes in and throws it out. Is like, what are you making for dinner then? What are you bringing to the fucking table? And also, like, what's it like? Is he gonna make like Catholic food? What is that? A cracker? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a cracker and you get shitty wine.
Yeah, exactly.
So and a ham.
And a ham.
Did I do it? Okay. AITA for calling my friend desperate and leaving her by herself.
Wow. I feel like we just did one like this. I'm saying not the asshole. The friend did something.
You know, I'll go not the asshole now.
Damn
Yes.
it! I abandoned my strategy at the last second. It bit me in the butt. Basically, OP's friend like stole her first boyfriend. OP got a new boyfriend. One night, and then like the friend and OP's old boyfriend break
Mhm.
up. She calls OP hysterical, asks her and like the boyfriend to come over, so they do. This bitch is like in a robe, like naked, trying to like seduce the boyfriend.
I'm right
So
here.
then they leave her. What?
I'm right here in a robe.
Are you in a robe?
Hopefully with clothes
I didn't
underneath.
notice
Not
that.
trying to seduce anyone's boyfriend.
I only wear robes. It's my.
I
It's
kind
my,
of thought
it's
it was
my-
like
it's
a
my
cardigan.
work from home routine. This is
Love
this
it.
is like not a bathrobe. It's like a lounge robe. There's a whole.
Is it the
levels to
savage
it.
one?
Not the savage one. I have that. Oh, it's
Love a robe.
I mean, the verdict was not the asshole. This girl tried to like scheme and into stealing this girl's boyfriend again, and you know, obviously she called her desperate and they left.
yikes.
Wow.
Yikes. Well, Danny, it looks like you're the winner.
Hell yeah.
I think,
Which-
right?
Still got it. Me, Danny. I think I'm the winner.
Oh,
Or am I
I
wrong?
hope you know. I was
Well,
excited
also-
for a second, even though I knew I got everyone wrong. I was like, wait, maybe I was
No,
counting.
you got one
wrong.
right.
Well, I think Danny, you also got the
Oh
same
yeah,
amount right.
Danny's for the win.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Okay, a virtual Zoom.
Hell
high
yeah.
five.
All right, guys.
Good job.
We're going to
guys.
do this thing, our second story of the day. AITA for being part of a vegan group, but not being totally vegan. And this is the
Woohoo.
true crossover right here. AITA for buying a murder house and not having a problem living in it. Sarah, do you want to read it? Is that what we're
Ooh.
going to do, or should I go for it? Up to you.
Let's go. I'll do it. AITA for buying a murder house and not having a problem living in it. I'm 40M. My fiance Kara is 37. Her daughter Kim is 16. Kim's dad died when she was 6. Kara and I met when Kim was 10. Okay. My relationship with Kim isn't parental, but we get along without fuss most of the time. Okay. Kara's mother was just in a major car accident and she couldn't bring Kim due to her online school schedule. Kim had friends over without permission the last time she was left alone for a few days, so Kara asked if she could stay with me for the next few days, and I agreed. I bought a house a few years ago and finished the renovations and remodel last fall. I got it cheap because a murder occurred here over a decade ago by now, and no one touched it till I fixed it up. It's not like there was blood or anything anywhere, and the way I see it, someone probably died in most houses and buildings that exist. It sucks, but death is everywhere.
Really weird, intense rationalization. Literally every house has a murder in it. Am I right?
Kim has been staying with me since Saturday, and she even seemed excited when I gave her the grand tour. I showed her the basement hangout, and she said she could have a friend or two over if she wanted so they could have some fun. I know she's worried about her grandma after all. I thought it was her mom who was in the accident. Oh, Kara's mother. Okay. I even showed Kim the room I put together for her, which made her cry because she must have thought she'd just be in a guest room. Aw. I wanted her to feel at home because this would be her home when she and her mother move in. Things were going great until I found Kim crying in the kitchen this morning. She went for a walk when she woke up, and upon chatting with a neighbor down the street, learned about the murder that happened there. The neighbor was very descriptive and told her far more details than I knew, and Kim asked why I didn't tell her.
No, I love this neighbor though. This neighbor is just like trying to ruin.
You're in that house? Oh yeah, that's where the body was found, cut into 50 different pieces.
Like I picture her now, cup of coffee outside, just holding mail, like just waiting outside to ruin someone's day.
Waiting with the watch.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Kim asked why I didn't tell her. I was honest and told her that I know a crime happened, but it was over a decade ago by now. It's not that I don't care, but the price of this house was too good to pass up. No way I could have afforded a house this nice and this big under normal circumstances. Kim demanded that I sell the house because she doesn't want to live here when she and Kara move in with me. I told her that's not happening. Kara is too preoccupied with her mom to deal with this right now, but Kim is at my throat. Kim thinks I'm cruel for not caring enough about her to sell my house. And when I told her that I care about her and even made sure she has her own room, she snapped and said that I just don't get it. Am I an asshole for not having an issue living here?
This is such a weird one.
A bargain is a bargain.
There took 9 turns and twists happened in this too. Like I'm still unpacking that the mom was in an accident. A lot.
Yeah, no, it was the grandma that was in an accident. And then I guess they just couldn't bring the granddaughter to the hospital because she has online school.
Interesting.
Like ever?
Yeah, I don't know.
So wait,
and I guess she can't be home alone because she would throw parties.
Yeah, Kara's mother died, or no? Who died? Somebody died.
I guess
the murder victim.
Husband, maybe. I mean, her dad did, maybe.
Oh yes, Kim's dad died when she was 6.
So she has like a.
And they met when they were 10.
I mean, okay, so in this, the guy is writing this. Kara is 37. Kim is the one who gets upset.
The daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is...
And I'm assuming I'm in my head, she's like 13 now. Like some time has passed because they met when she was...
She's 16. Yeah.
Oh, she's 16 now? Okay. That's a whole
I mean, this...
All right.
I mean, I guess like to a 16-year-old, if you loved me, you'd sell your house is a reasonable thing. But to adults, you're like, that's a lot of work.
She doesn't know what an interest rate is.
Yeah.
Right? Escrow?
And also, like, I think to a 16-year-old girl, you know, and you tell me, Sarah, like, living in a murder house is kind of fucked up. It's scary, like...
I also wonder if this is farther away from where they grew up to and she, like, misses her friends, if that's the bigger thing to uncover.
I can see that.
It's a Lifetime movie, yeah.
But it's not like... So I guess Kara did know, though, right? Because that would be a major sin to me, to move into a murder house with not disclosing it. And by the way, maybe let's not call it a murder house. I think OP needs to move past this rhetoric, you know? This is a toxic term for him. It's a house, you know? It's not forever doomed.
It's a house in which a murder occurred.
It's a home that's been lived in and died in.
I love what... Yeah, that's funny. This house is very lived in and very died in. Anyway, let's move to this room. This is where the murder happened. No, there's a line I like where someone says, like, oh, it's been 10 years by now. And it's like, has it, though? Or you're just throwing on a by now? Like, he just barely moved in.
Yeah. Said a few years ago, OP moved in.
Oh, okay.
I'm also mad, too. That
so how long was this house on the market? Damn.
Yeah, that the OP like knows now the details of this story, but isn't sharing what type of murder happened in it.
Yeah.
Because that could change things.
That's annoying. I want more about the murder.
I want the neighbor to call in.
Is there any dirt on the neighbor for like pouring this out to a 16-year-old? I mean,
yes. I think that's super nosy.
Nosy? I don't think that's nosy.
Or like the opposite of I mean,
it's a little
kind
bit
of.
just not judicious. Like, this is a kid. That's not really kid business. Murders?
If the neighbor is over the age of like 63, I say we let it slide because it's like that's kind of what 65-year-olds do. Like they just talk
So
to anybody
true.
like and talk about someone who died. But
Oh
under
my
than that,
God.
if it was like a 40-year-old woman, I'd be like, there's some issue.
I
here.
think that's very fair. Old people.
My parents are 63. That is not that old.
It's not old, but it's at the age
It's not
when
so
you're like,
old that
I'll
you
talk
lose
to
your
them.
Oh,
tact
come here.
completely.
Oh, is that the house you're in? Oh, do you know what happened there? Yeah, I can see that. So,
Yeah, like what?
like just pouring out for no reason. No, she's like, what?
Right.
Oh, come here, come back. I'll tell you a little story. On the walk.
Like that's very wait, isn't that literally the plot of American Horror Story, the haunted house one?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like everyone who moves into that house keeps getting murdered. See, this is a bigger question. Like, okay, maybe it's a murder house, but is it haunted?
That's where I thought this was going to go.
Okay, so OP says that the murder was a domestic abuse murder, which I guess is good, not good, but like
Good.
like better for his case because it's not like this person was like targeted by the Night Stalker and their home was broken into and like really crazy shit like that.
That's true. The energy and the toxicity and the pain of it was in the relationship, not in the structure of the home.
Yeah.
So
I feel like he should invite like a medium
Right.
or like have or get Kara or no Kim and get some sage and like sage the house.
oh, anybody moving, just do that in general.
You know,
'cause
the
you don't know
realtor
what's
is like trying to sell
That's
it.
true.
He's like, and this backsplash here is actually built to prevent any kind of ethereal force to come through. It's actually reinforced.
Imagine it's like a for sale by owner house. Everyone's like, what's
What's
going on here? They're like, can we please get the terms? Like, I'm going to jail in 2 months, so if we can sell before then.
We actually had someone DM us in the true crime account today who's a realtor because we were talking about if you're required to disclose like if the house is haunted. And she said in New York, yes.
Really?
Well, because
Yeah.
I actually did go to, because my favorite thing to do is I just love to look at open houses. It's like, I just, every Sunday, like, you just get a little like cup of coffee and I just like look at places I can't afford.
That's
that is your
hilarious.
brand.
Oh,
Between that and like talking to divorcees at the wine bar, it all is coming together.
and let me tell you, most realtors in like a Fort Greene area are divorcees. So I just walk
Love it.
around and then one was like half the price of everything else. And I was like, so amazing. And she's like, yeah, I just don't know why it's on sale. Walked around, showed me everything. And then I wasn't even going to buy this place. But then at the end, I was like, so I just have to ask, like, really, like, you got to tell me, why is it on sale? And then she was like, well, someone was murdered in that room. And just pointed, like, it was a 1-bedroom. I was like,
The only room?
the room?
Oh my God, send me the Zillow to this house. I'll
And
put in
also
an
my
offer.
favorite, right after that, she was like, but all the furniture's included. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Who wants
Oh,
it?
great. This bloody furniture. Thanks.
So you do have to disclose. I know.
That's crazy.
Or at least she just did.
That's really interesting. Now, Mew
Damn.
27 actually taking a similar position. NTA, your talkative neighbor, is a huge asshole. Kim's having an age-appropriate reaction to learning that she's sleeping at the site of a gruesome murder while separated from her parent and stressed about her grandmother's health. Tell Kim you can't sell the house, but ask her what you can do to make her feel more comfortable there.
Okay.
I think
I mean, selling the house is kind of like a like that's not happening.
I think this is kind of. I'm
Because also, you know what would?
I'm ready to come for this old person.
Oh, I was gonna say, you know what house would sell less? Like a murder house takes long to sell. Nothing would sell slower than a murder house that was bought and then immediately put back on the market. Because like, who
That's
now?
haunted.
Exactly.
It's haunted.
Then
that's when you
exactly.
start
Then
to
everyone
think
would be
it's
like, okay, this is the American Horror Story haunted house.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to get away from it so fast?
Yeah.
And you'd be like losing money on it, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some argument to be made about this old person not being very discreet. This is not something to tell a young child, a 16-year-old. I mean, it's a low crime, but if there's anyone to come for, it's her.
I guess, right. It's not like nosy, but it's nosy in the sense that it's just like butting in and telling someone stuff that they don't need to know.
I will say though, this house is probably known for that. So when COVID is like the second she goes back into like school learning and she tells everyone, "Oh, I'm new in town. Like I live in this house," it's gonna come up.
That's so
Like
true.
they should have prepped her for that before just being like, "La da 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 da." What do you mean? And then everyone's like, "You live in the dead house."
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't really live there yet. I feel like she was just staying there temporarily.
Some kid in the back, like, that's
I
where
feel
my
bad for
mom
her. I get that vibe.
died. It's like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Why does your kid voice sound like an old person?
mom died.
That's not an old. This is my old person voice.
No, sorry.
That
He
was
sounds
good.
exactly like a
Oh,
16-year-old man.
yes, I'm very old, Sarah. This is my little old voice. Come here, I'll tell you a little story.
Yeah,
Here,
that's an
you
old
want to see
voice.
black and white surveillance footage of the murder? I put a camera in the house. You want to watch it? I like to watch each frame right before I go to sleep. How old are you?
Danny's like, yes, add to my
I know,
How old are
Netflix
you?
queue.
16?
Roll the clip out.
You like pornography? Come on inside. It's like crazy old person.
Oh my
Anyway,
That's true.
I'm just like, how did that even come up? It's like, oh yeah, you know how this house was so cheap. It's like, why was that? Why was that?
Oh, you know it was the
Don't get
third
murdered,
sentence.
like the woman who
neighbor was
lived
like,
in the
"Oh,
house
moved
you
into
came
that
out of."
house." The 16-year-old's like, "Yeah, I did." She's like, "Well," and then bomb drop. Goodbye.
yeah.
Well, you know who didn't just come out of that house ever again? Dun dun dun. Like, why did this come up?
It's weird. Fim here.
You'll
I'm
never
real
know.
bored. Writes, no assholes here. Kim is young and impressionable. Has probably seen too many horror movies. But no, you should not sell the house, and you're not the asshole for thinking she's overreacting. The trick here is to flip her view around. You guys aren't living in the ashes of murder. You are giving a wonderful house a chance to be a beloved home again. That's a really good attempt at spin. I don't know if this is it.
That's someone who also bought a murder house.
I like that you guys like didn't even buy it for a second.
They're like, "No, it's good. No, it's actually the best thing to buy a house where someone was killed." And it's like,
We
what?
love a murder
Yeah.
house.
No,
What's
we're not
your spin?
rebranding the house.
OP being like, death is everywhere. Like, no, it's really not. It's actually at like two places that are very specific.
Right. One is the Cecil Hotel,
Oh, boy.
mhm.
and the
True
other is
crime
this house.
references I don't get. I was thinking more
across the
hospital and what do they call that? A graveyard. But
That's true. The
There we
cemetery.
What do we call that? Graveyard?
OP is like, well, if you think about it, aren't we all
Right,
dying?
The thing is, no lies detected.
all right. I think we can
Yeah.
wrap.
I like OP's spin. I want him to rebrand my social media accounts. This is so great.
No, he should get into crisis management. He needs to work. in
He's like,
DC.
it's not called not
Right?
sleeping, Sarah. It's called living more.
Right? That's so good. Oh my
AITA
god.
for buying a murder house and not having a problem living in it. I think worst we can say is like NTA and the old person slightly is, but it's kind of a reach, right? Any dissenters?
I'll go there.
I just think there's no like
You
yeah,
say
no assholes.
here?
no.
Yeah, I could meet you at no assholes here for sure.
That's fine with me. I don't like the neighbor.
Well, because here's my thing: the neighbor is just being a neighbor.
It's true.
That's living in the
It's true.
suburbs. They just like to talk about anyone who dies.
All right, I
Or
guess that's
Sarah,
fair.
take over the hosting. I'm sorry, my instincts must calm down.
No, it's okay. You don't have to. Let me. We're going to play a game called Assholes At, where we just name assholes in a certain location. I have tentatively chosen the
Let's go
bar
with it.
because I feel like that's where me and Danny are most likely to be seen.
And
Mhm.
exactly where I will never be seen.
Does that work for you, Danny?
I could do it. I have memories. I
Right.
remember bars. The
Okay, good. Because Danny's answer
guy,
is everyone.
that's not true. The guy who's like, okay, everyone's already had 3 drinks and people are starting to not listen and act obnoxiously, and so I'm out. It's me, everybody. I'm that guy.
What
I
about
was
the
gonna say-
guy
Oh yeah. you
who's
go,
like
Sarah.
waving his credit card at the bartender?
Oh,
Serve me. Serve
Oh.
me. What are you even doing? Serve me.
I hate that, and I wish my eyesight was better because I do have 20/20 vision, not to brag, but like I can't like zoom in focus so much. But I would love to just get his credit card and just like pay for so
Steal
many
it.
things because it's such a dick move. Like they know you're at the bar to get a drink. Wait your fucking time.
Right. We're also not impressed by your Visa card. Chad, relax.
It's
Yeah, I'm like it has ducks on it. Fix yourself. Like, that's embarrassing.
it's from a credit union. Please, Chad.
I'm like, baby, it's a debit. Save that. Once it goes, it's gone. Who pisses me off the most are the people that like go up to the bartender when like it's a full bar, and we've all done this at one point or another. But it's so no when they go like, "Do you have a phone charger? Like, do you have a phone? Like, can you plug in? Can you plug in?" And they're like, and like they get so mad when the bartender's like charging their phone. I'm like, they're at fucking work, and also like that's low on their totem pole of things to do. But I see it happen every single time I was at.
God, I feel like at this point you need to just start bringing a charger, or even better, because then you have to annoy someone for an outlet. So just bring a mobile charger with you everywhere you go.
Or let me tell you something. Once you reach a certain age, once you're in your mid-20s, if your phone's on 20%, babe, the night's over. Nothing magical is gonna happen tonight. Call your
That's
Uber.
true.
and call it a night. Like we don't need to prolong this. That's your phone giving you a Hail Mary pass.
That's a solution I've never thought of
The
before.
guy who's like,
Reevaluating.
I'm the
things.
designated driver. Hey, let me get another shot of Fireball. And you're like, oh no.
Oh no.
Yikes on ice, even though like sometimes a
Yikes
fireball
on
shot is exactly what the
Did you
soul
just say
intends
yikes on
means.
ice? Yikes on ice.
Yes.
I love
drinking,
that.
I was drinking Sauvignon Blanc on ice, so it
I
really
love
fits.
that.
I love that. I think I'm gonna have some later.
Yikes on ice.
I'm obsessed. Oh my god. What about the person who judges you for having a fruity drink? It's delicious.
Don't you like real alcohol? What is
Yes.
that? That's gross. Strawberry freeze?
Honestly, no. Alcohol is poison. Don't like the taste of real alcohol.
Well, also, the real ones, no. It's always like the fruity drink that has like grenadine in it, that has like 7 alcohols in it, and you take a
Yes.
sip and you're like, how am I now topless? You're like, where did any of my belongings go?
Right.
Like,
And you're
what's
like, oh, because I was drinking tequila mixed with mezcal, mixed with Grand Marnier, and it tasted like juice.
Oh, I'm a block and a half away from a tiki bar. It's heaven on earth. Superpower.
Which one?
Superpower, Crown Heights.
Need to go.
It has a really
Me
cute
there.
backyard. Oh, it's really fun for parties. And they have vegan
Yes.
hot dogs, so shout out.
There we go.
Come
The
visit.
guy-
Come now.
The guy is trying
Yes.
to bond with the beer people, and he's like, yeah, I like beer a lot. Heineken Zero just came out. And everyone's like, what? It's me, guys. I'm that guy too.
I've actually heard that Heineken Zero
I
is
mean,
good.
yeah, but no
One of my
beer
coworkers told me
drinker will get
today.
excited about it, really, because they'll be like, I drink real beer. I don't have a problem like you. So anyway, can I get my credit union
actually-
card back?
I would rather drink a non-alcoholic beer than a mocktail.
I think I'd rather drink a mocktail because it's juice.
I don't want I don't want the sugar just to have sugar. Like I'll just have I would want, if I'm not drinking, I'd rather sip on something. And I feel a cocktail with a straw, it just so fast, versus a beer I can sip and have
That's
a little
true.
snack, have a little pretzel, and life is good.
That's true.
Who pisses me off is the person who when you're at happy hour and everyone is just owning it, we're all buying a round for someone, and the person always skips their round.
The worst.
No.
Sacrilege. Criminal.
Sacrilege. I'm like, it's happy hour. Every drink is $6. It's a table for 4. It's your turn.
Okay, what about the girl who gets too drunk and argues with the bouncer?
Sarah,
That's you, Sarah.
When have you seen me be confrontational?
No,
Especially with
never,
an
no.
authority figure.
It's hard
I
to
feel
It's
believe.
fun to watch, but I'm like, oh, thank God that is not me.
I know I've been to too many birthdays where that does happen though, and I'm like, babe, you're not doing yourself any favors. And I'm tired of holding you back, and this isn't Step Up. This is the Wren in the East Village. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Now it's time for AITA for being part of a vegan group, but not being totally vegan. It's been a few years since I, 32F, have been exploring veganism and trying to live a more sustainable and low-waste life in general. About 3 years ago, I joined a group in my city that held meetups and generally shared some good info about nutrition, being vegan on a budget, etc., eating out, blah, blah, blah. They also occasionally partner with local groceries and restaurants to offer some discounts on vegan food. I enjoyed meeting several people here and there and have become friends with another woman, Sarah, 30F,
Ooh.
not me.
Danny wrote this?
In the beginning,
Sarah's not 30 yet.
In the beginning, as I was getting to know her, I've also shared openly that becoming a vegan is a process for me. Fast forward 3 years, we're fast friends who occasionally attend the vegan group events, but also mostly do other things that friends do, play games, hang out, go running, etc. Over the years, I have attempted to eat less meat. Currently, 70% of my meals in a week are vegan, 90% are vegetarian, with a maximum of 1 to 2 meals, including fish/meat. Recently, I shared with Sarah that I think this is as far as I can get without losing minor enjoyments and joy that some non-vegan foods bring me. I think it's a good balance and is effective enough as a change. She's not happy and thinks I should have left the vegan group when I knew I'm never going to be full vegan, and taking advantage of the discounts and any other kind of resources, mostly online seminars, available there is an asshole move. This seems quite ridiculous to me since I give my business to vegan places significantly more anyway and am mostly vegan/vegetarian. So Reddit, AITA for not leaving the group if I'm never planning to go full vegan.
This is juicy.
Very juicier than an Impossible Burger, let me tell you that much.
Love it.
Those are pretty good though.
Can I say, those are really fucking good, and no one can deny.
They're
Yeah.
surprisingly not good for you. They're very high calorie. I've compared carnitas and stuff at Dos Toros, and I'm like, damn, I'd be better off eating a pig.
Well, that's the funniest thing when everyone's like,
Yeah.
why isn't vegan food healthy? I'm like, it's not made to be healthy. It's made to recreate the thing. And that's where a lot of people get into. They're like, why would I eat it? It's like, so there's no pus in it.
Right.
Feel like I was converted by that
There we
statement
go.
alone. Yeah, it's kind of surprising, like how not good for you something is just because it's plant based.
You know what I mean? This also hits
Sad
different because I
times.
love that he brought up getting discounts and stuff like that. Because I am someone still on. Somehow I finagled my way to be on a Spotify college discount still, despite not being in college.
Hell yes.
So I love
Yes.
a scam. I love grifting from big corporations, and I'm sure some of these food places he's getting a discount from are probably pretty large.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just this actually is she. I just realized, not trying to be like she's a she, but it's interesting. I think I assumed it was a man as well. I guess I just feel like, and you tell me, Danny, but it's like, yeah, they're not a total vegan, but certainly being in this group has made them more vegan. And isn't that a good thing for the cause of veganism?
Well, that's my whole thing, and this is why a lot of vegans don't like me. So I might not be the best person ever because I'm just kind of like, it's not like you are abstaining. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm abstinent, but I have sex. Where it's like, that doesn't really correlate. Or you're like, oh, I don't do drugs, but I smoke weed. Like even that's like a different level of it. But like, you know what I mean? Where it's not like you're like abstaining from something.
I don't do
for
drugs.
your
Just a little bit of
self.
cocaine on
You know
the
what I mean? You're more
weekends.
so abstaining from something to like try to benefit another situation or like the planet and stuff like that. Where I'm like, who gives a fuck if
Right.
the OP has a salmon once a week? If they're like caring so much about it? Because I mean, like, I always think, would you rather them have salmon than every night? Or if they have it once a week, then the rest of the time they have vegan food and they support the vegan places, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it gets to this very like black and white
Yeah.
place, which is, I think, silly. Nonetheless, creative_ass9930 writes, YTA, if you eat meat at all, you're not a vegan. And you've been exploiting this group of people for discounts. Veganism isn't a percentage. It's in a belief system that humans are not meant to consume animal products as we value life over minor enjoyments and joy. You don't just dip your toe in. It's really insulting that you think being mostly vegetarian vegan is the same as being vegan. Leave the group.
That sounds like, I mean, I hate to stereotype, but that sounds like a hungry vegan. That sounds like someone who can't name the french fries. Because I'm like, that's a bitch who's just having arugula and is like ready to rip at any single second, when it's like, have an onion ring, they're vegan too, and calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like my instinct would be, isn't any amount of like harm reduction and just like reduction of animal products better than none at all? Like, I don't see why. I understand this like identity thing, and if OP was like some sort of vegan influencer who actually eats meat or whatever, fine. But I don't know, does it have to be so like all or nothing?
I'm also assuming that if you're in this group, you're in it because the interests kind of align with you, but more so you're in it because you want to make friends. Like, I don't think I would ever seek out like a vegan circle group if I wasn't like in a new city looking for people to get dinner with. You know what I mean? So I would be like,
True.
why? Let's talk about the bigger thing. Like, you guys have like some common grounds. This person would obviously go with you to a vegan restaurant, hang out with them and enjoy them. And let's kind of like talk more. Maybe you could make them be a little bit more vegan, or you could just kind of like fucking deal with it.
I mean, also, like, are these discounts in a limited number? I don't really see what the deal is. Like, it's not like I'm sure these businesses are like interrogating these people to see if they qualify for this
Absolutely.
Also, here's the
discount.
thing about a
It's
discount.
ridiculous.
Every time I get a discount, I end up spending more money than if I never had the discount. So the joke is on all of
Classic.
us that get a discount.
Right.
So these vegan restaurants are probably very happy.
Right? They just throw 10% at you knowing you're going to buy like double the portions.
Tanya disagrees, though. She says, YTA, veganism isn't just a diet. It's a lifestyle and a moral code. You're deceiving people claiming that you're transitioning, while in reality, you don't even share the same morals as them. You're not mostly a vegan if you willingly eat animal products, plain and simple. Either quit the group or at least have the basic decency to be honest about your intentions to them. That's true. I do think OP should be honest.
Weren't they honest? And they got mad at her?
She's not happy.
Well, I feel like it was after 3
Recently,
years.
I shared with Sarah that I think this is as far as I can get without losing minor enjoyments and joy that some non-vegan foods bring me. Sarah's not happy and thinks I should have left the vegan group when I knew I'm never going full vegan. I mean, taking advantage of other resources such as online seminars, is that really a fucking sin? Hats off to anyone who goes to an online seminar.
What is the Zoom
know what I
cap?
mean?
Like 400
Seriously.
people? Like, come
Whoever's
on.
doing freelance vegan food seminars is happy someone's in the fucking Zoom. So let's let them be happy they're not talking to their wall. I would
That's
never
so
once in my
funny.
life go to something like that. And then also,
Uh,
these people all sound like people that are like so gung-ho on this. I'm like, are you all like liberals who when you go home to your family, you're like, let's just not talk politics? Like, are you all for nothing about every single thing in your life or no? Because it sounds like a lot of throwing stone from glass houses. That's just me who took one class of psychology.
I think it's horrible,
Love
toxic,
it.
and I see it on the left too, where it's like, if I even say like, well, there's some good points on the other side. Oh no, there's not. There's no points, Danny. There's nothing. And it's like, no, there's some good points. Like you have to acknowledge, like sometimes the left does go too far, and it's like when you get into this very black and white thing, you get into a ridiculous position where you're mad at someone for attending a freelance vegan webinar.
And I think,
It's just like an unsustainable way to
which
live.
is ironic.
You get into like cognitive dissonance
Yeah,
real
because they
quick.
try to be so sustainable.
That's funny.
And I also feel too, it's one of those things where it's like, why do you like, why do they care if their friend is not? You know what I mean? Where it's like, they should just be like, okay, well, I'm glad I can be fully vegan and live my best goddamn life and feel a little bit like, okay, well, I'm better than them type of thing. You're not losing anything from them eating like maybe a Burger King burger once a month. They're losing maybe
Yeah.
a few minutes off their life because Burger King is a completely different story for your health. But besides that,
Not what I would break veganism for.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like OP kind of should be honest because if this group is a bunch of like tight people that aren't like Danny, I guess I do feel like it's a little whack to like just run around deceiving them.
Yeah, totally.
But I kind of feel like probably most vegans are like you because I feel like vegans got made fun of for years, if not decades, and now they're quiet. I'm never hearing about the veganism.
no, because my whole thing is I'm like, I could fucking care less. I'm like, it's because also it's never fun to be at a party and be like, I'm never the people. And I think it just comes down to like less about what you choose to be and more so who you are, the people that like but actually here's this whole thing. When it's like someone makes a small talk conversation, be like, oh, this is how a balloon is made. And everyone's like, excuse me. And it's like, okay, do you just read like Wikipedia at 2 a.m. and cry yourself to sleep? I'm so sorry for you. Please stop ruining dinner.
Yes.
And it sounds like that's kind of the MO that a lot of this vegan group is bringing to the table, literally.
Yeah, I feel like it just depends on the context of the group because if she knows that everyone in there is a hardcore, this is my entire personality vegan, then like, yeah, you should probably leave the group because you probably are deceiving them. But if it's a very chill, like, if you're vegan curious, I don't know if that's a term. If you're like maybe thinking about it, whether you're a vegan or whatever, like then I who cares?
Right.
Yeah, I kind of just want the person to leave the group because they don't need this group anymore because I don't like the energy that they're bringing. Like, you can just find friends. It's okay.
Just join an
Or also,
intramural league. Well,
never go to the
post-COVID.
meetings. Just keep the coupon codes because, I mean, that's all that matters.
Really.
All right, so I think we agree on this. AITA for being part of a vegan group and not being totally vegan. I'm ready to say no assholes here.
Yeah, I mean, I think even though I don't agree with this like almost militant stance, I can understand it.
Well, it's their right to be militant if they
So,
want.
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I just want this person to get dinner with me.
There we go.
Love it. All right, now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. Submit your own via AITApod.com. Would I be the asshole for asking my sister-in-law to pay for new tires? My sister-in-law was visiting us with our nephew We took a few days off, but since we were working from home full-time, my husband and I still worked a few days while they were here. My sister asked if she could borrow our car so she could take our nephew to do something while we worked. We agreed, thought it would be a good idea. It would give us a few quiet hours to get work done. Within 15 minutes of her leaving, my husband gets a call that the car has a flat tire. He had to take off the day at work since we weren't planning to deal with it and took an Uber to the location where she was able to pull over. I get a call and he tells me the tire is completely shredded on the side, so my sister had clearly hit something. To sum it up, since we drive a pretty nice car with all-wheel drive, we need all the tires to match / be the same brand. Our current set is basically new since we got the car at the end of 2020, and of course the specific tire we needed is on back order for 3 months. Okay. In order to get our car back in driving condition and out of the donut, we had to order 4 new tires that ended up costing us $1,500 plus the car rental for the rest of the days they were visiting. I get no one gets a flat tire on purpose, and none of us could have predicted the one specific tire we needed would be so difficult to get. She did offer to pay for the rental car, which does help, but I can't help but feel frustrated and want her to help pay or partially pay for the damage she caused since we had to replace perfectly good tires because of her lack of awareness while driving. AITA.
This is a little ridiculous. $1,500 for a flat? I would be like, you need to warn someone then if they're going to drive your car. I've never heard of that in my life.
But it could be like a
Yeah.
fancy car. And you should know
It's
going into the
literally
car
like-
that it is a fancy car.
Yeah, but fine. But they're
Yeah, it's like you literally gave this person your BMW.
They're
essentially,
tires.
is what happened.
they're just tires. She popped the tires. A very common kind of mistake and accident. And by the way, I don't really know if OP is right because we don't hear the story, but like they popped one tire, so then they got to replace all four. That's uncommon. And then he attributes it to her lack of awareness while driving. Not necessarily true. You can also just hit something when you're driving. I don't know
I
if
have
I'm
gotten
a-
a flat from
Well, I think what
driving
happened
over a
is
nail, so I feel that.
Yes, and I was
yeah. I mean, I think
just driving with my folks in a
sorry, just to
and a and a
Go.
huge pebble.
it's like me and
A
every Zoom
huge
meeting.
pebble flew out from under a truck and smacked the windshield, and it's like that's damage and it has to be repaired. You know, there's nothing to do to prevent it.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was trying to explain with the tires was that they all need to be the same brand and match.
Oh.
But because the one was out of stock, they had to basically order a whole new set of a different
I
brand.
get that.
you know,
but
that
that's
is more
not
so
a-
just shitty timing. That's not on the person then.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's on the sister, and I think that's on them for like having a bougie car.
That's an insane car thing. I've never heard of that in my entire life. Actually, you know what they wrote? We need all the tires. Yeah, you need it because you're crazy Karens about this fucking Beamer. Relax.
Because I also am someone who I do
Yeah,
like to
I mean,
have
I
some
feel
nice
like it's a
things here
thing.
and there, but if I ever lent them to someone, I'm just guaranteed the fact that it's kind of like lending money to a friend. It's like, you're never going to get it back. These might get ruined.
I feel like agreeing to do the rental car is like a pretty good compromise, and it's not. I mean, so I feel like I've sort of done what OP has described, which is like slash the tire from the side, basically. And I did that by pulling into a parking spot too enthusiastically and like ramming the curb. So I can totally see that like the sister-in-law probably fucked up here and didn't just drive over a nail because those you can just patch. But that said, she didn't plan on them having to spend $1,500 on new tires. Like that's a
I
them
just
problem.
do feel
That's
like
being an adult.
when you don't prep someone and it's going to be an extenuating circumstance, that does start to fall on you, right? It's like, oh, by the way, if you don't turn the car off for 3 minutes, it self-destructs. And like, you need to state some kind of bullshit that's unique to your car. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's fair to try to plug this $1,500 bill on her. That's just unheard of.
No,
And can I
don't
say
either.
very kind now that they gave the money for the rental car?
Yeah, like, where do you
That's what I'm
guys
saying.
stand on it
I
if it
think-
was a more normal situation? Like, are we saying that? Because, like, I kind of feel like what you're saying. It's like, all right, hey, borrow my car, and then you have an incident that's not your fault, right? Like, obviously, if you rear end someone, I'm like, no, fuck you. You're paying for that shit. But if, like, something happens, that's it. Something happens to you, which is like a flat tire, pop windshield. I'm sort of like, yeah, like, come on, that happened to you. It's my car, but, like, that's not your fault, really. You know, I'm not going to charge you for that. That's insane. What kind of cheap ass does that?
Can I say though, my one thing that I would do, because I'm a classy person, if I was a person who had this situation happen, I'd pay for the rental car and one tire. I would divide the $1,500 by 4, pay that part, just to be done with it all.
That feels fair.
I think that's fair. I also like, to me, the description of the tire doesn't feel like you just happened to drive over a nail. Like it does sound like she kind of rammed into something.
okay. Okay.
Like being a little
More
bit
truth
careless.
is coming out. More truth is coming out.
Whisper M writes, no assholes here. I don't think she should be responsible for all of the purchase. She didn't make you get a vehicle that needed all the same exact tires. You accepted her as a liability when you let her use the vehicle, maybe halvesies. Not halvesies. I'd say I like
Halvesies
Danny's.
is too much for me.
Quartersies.
I like your situation. Divide by 4, grab the rental car for a couple days. Or the Ubers.
Yeah.
That's called manners, and I support that to happen. Yeah, exactly. That's just fair. You know what I mean? That's beyond fair.
Carrie J,
Classy.
YTA, part of owning a car. On the plus side, you now have 3 perfectly good full-size spares in case something like this happens again. Well, no, Carrie, because it's different. According to their insane standards.
Yeah, but then like whenever the new tire comes out of back order, they can
I
just order the
guess.
one. I don't know.
Well, then there's really no spares, so they have to all be put on the same time. This car is crazy. Why is this a Tetris-ass car?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, just get a Honda and be done with it.
Alyssa writes, how did you come to
Yeah.
the conclusion that she must have hit something? Shredded tires happen for a lot of reasons, including being underinflated. She's definitely not responsible for anything other than one tire, if that. The fact that she's offering to pay for anything other than the tire and you're still frustrated definitely makes you the asshole.
I do think like one tire she would be responsible for. Like, it's just the nice thing to do.
It's nice. It's owning it, and it's kind of in the situation being like, I'm doing all that I literally can and should do and can be done with it.
Well, we got an
Right.
update from OP, Sarah. What's going on here?
Okay, for some clarifying points, there was a large gash on the side of the tire that couldn't be patched. See, I've been in this exact situation before, so I know how it goes. She wasn't driving at a high speed since she wouldn't have been on an interstate or highway. Don't see how that matters. We had no issues with the tires previously that would weaken them. My husband also knows her driving record, and she even admitted to having a similar flat tire before from running over metal plates used to cover potholes. How does that happen?
I never heard of that.
My husband reached out to her via text to talk about payment for the rental car. She Venmo'd about half of what the total cost was without responding to his text for clarification of what the final cost was. We've accepted the fact that the tires are on us. It sucks and it's frustrating, but we know it wasn't intentional. Now we're in a predicament on the best way to ask for the rest of the cost of the rental car. I get the feeling she sent the Venmo just to appease her brother and hope he won't mention it again. Okay, honestly, now at this point, I'm ready to go, like, these people are full of the assholes. It's like, are you really gonna, it's like, yeah, you're not gonna win trying to hunt your family down for money that they know you don't need because you drive a fucking
Exactly.
Bentley.
Also, that's the thing. I'm like, do you want this to become such an issue that it's an issue at Thanksgiving, at your holidays, at every single time you see these people, because they're not going to let it go.
It's ridiculous. I mean, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. And I don't hear anything from OP kind of owning the fact that, like, this $1,500 thing is ridiculous. You know, the rental car is a kindness. I'm not necessarily on board for it. There's cost mitigation strategies. You could do some Ubers. You really need a rental car. Like, why is the fact that this happens to be an emergency for you? This is a perfectly normal, common occurrence, and now it's become this person's nightmare. And it's like, no, this is your nightmare because you have a weird fucking car that needs 4 identical tires like some kind of fucking armadillo babies. It's crazy.
Yeah, now it just feels like they're sort of nickel and diming.
It totally
It's too
feels
much. When
like
you just have
that.
to track down a Venmo. That's when you're in too deep, and it's when it's too much. You have to, like, you either get the Venmo or you're like, you know what, it's just not going to happen.
And like, I
Right.
do feel like you're onto something. Like, and I don't like to play the like, oh, they're rich, so who cares game. But like, it does feel like there's a difference here. I mean, like, I've never heard of this stuff. I've never heard of these numbers for a car. I feel like, you know, the sister-in-law probably doesn't have this kind of income, or at least doesn't own this expensive of a car. Also, let's go this.
That is a thing with those like luxury cars, though. It's like, you know that the tires cost a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, and
And
Well,
like,
that's
just
also my
it.
thing. I wouldn't be lending out my car if it's this nice.
and they only have
Right.
one. They note this part, Sarah. Oh, we only have one car due to living in a city with easy access to public transit. So why do you need the rental car so badly then? And you want her to...
Oh my God, you have fucking BMW in New York City. Get
You're
outta
just
here.
asking to be scrapped. Do you know what I mean? Like, that car is, you don't take that car into the city.
I almost am ready. They have an all-wheel drive car and they live in a city with good public transportation. Why?
'Cause they're rich.
I also
You
feel like
bought
they're
it-
clinging to their youth and they should really just own it. If there's someone who cares so much about a car, that means you probably should move to the suburbs. I'm sorry.
True. No, and I feel like this is like classic, like, you know what it is? It's rich enough to dine at the really nice restaurant, but not rich enough to tip the right amount. Oh, we're not going to tip on the $600 bottle of wine. That's ridiculous. Why? I thought you were rich. If you're getting a $600 bottle of wine, why can't you tip 20% on it? Because you're fucking cheap. That's what this reads
Mhm.
like to me.
There is a different,
There
yeah,
we
there is,
go.
you are very much able to be rich and cheap. And that is something that should be taught more in schools.
No, it is. And I've heard rationalizations from people. Oh, we don't have to tip on alcohol. That's ridiculous. No, it's fucking ridiculous that you're spending $1,000 on a bottle of poison, you fucking crazy person. You would change a server's...
Rich people are like the most cheap usually.
Absolutely.
That's how they stay rich. That's what they always say. And I'm just like, fuck you.
OP, listen.
That and
I
exploiting
like
people.
that you submitted to the pod. We don't know everything here. We are making a lot of assumptions, but I think this is a ridiculous expense that you're trying to throw on your sister-in-law. If she's bougie and this is just a bougie on bougie battle, then fine, I would go a different verdict. But I kind of sense that you and your hubby are balling out. You got the all-wheel drive Beamer. You got the identical tires. Look how pretty they are. They all match. You know, I say cut sister-in-law some slack. I'm ready to say, would I be the asshole for asking my sister-in-law to pay for new tires? I think we agree you're the asshole.
Yes, and you will.
Yeah, because she already gave some money, and then once it then you're going to start a war by asking like for more. It's not, don't you?
Because that's the thing. You won't just be the asshole in the situation on this podcast. You'd be the asshole at every single family event for decades to come.
True. Love it.
That's so true. All right, everybody. I thought we'd wrap up with a little game called Asshole Advocate. We pick an asshole, and then we all just try to basically play devil's advocate for them. I'm going to go with Danny Vega. What is your knowledge on famous scammers? Do you know about the Theranos scam?
Yes, I do know about it. I saw the Theranos documentary.
Great. Okay, so we're going to play asshole advocate for Elizabeth Holmes.
Okay, I got it. This is actually my only really defense of her, but it's what if she was a lot closer than people, you know, like a lot of these companies are like, we're going to make a Facebook, and then they do make a Facebook, but what if she was kind of close? And she got cut off so soon and everybody started but maybe she just needed 10, 20 years.
This is an actual defense of her. Okay, well, mine is two-pronged. Number one is I feel like she was just trying to fake it until she made it, and she just didn't quite make it in time. But this is actually true, is that the one Theranos test that was coming back reliable was the test for herpes. So she should have just marketed it as like a rapid herpes blood test. Anyway, that's my defense.
You spent 5 days in Fort Lauderdale. You go to Theranos for that. My defense for her is she should have just branded herself as a huge Angelina Jolie fan and be like, the vials of blood are aesthetic, guys. It's all for the red carpet, the literal red carpet. Would have sold out in a day.
There we go. I mean, at least she was trying to do something kind of noble instead of Billy McFarland, who was like, I'm just going to throw a massive rager. At
least Billy was just scamming people who had the money to drop on a music festival in a different country versus she was trying to fuck with people's health. And that is kind of a little too much for me.
You're right.
Okay, you know how she has like sociopath killer vibes? What if doing Theranos was like just her way of not like capturing people and eating them? So really she did the nicest possible thing, which was just try to get obscenely rich.
Army Hammer should have made a startup. That's just what we're saying.
That's it. It's gonna come out. You gotta do something.
I mean, she brought the black turtleneck back. There we go.
And she pulled it off. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
She did. And she looked good doing it. I'm kind of attracted to her, not her voice though.
That voice
You don't like this voice?
I can't even, my voice can't even get that low. I can't even do that.
Is that all we got?
What if she was just doing a bit? Because if you take out the era, then it's Thanos. And that's kind of a funny bit because he's evil.
I think that's the best explanation. She was just doing a very long bit.
She's like, guys, it was a third beat that went on too far. I'm so sorry. On me. So fine.
Right? It just kept saying yes and.
This is where yes and goes.
I also think it's a thing too. It's like hard when you're pretty and blonde. Not a lot of people say no to you. So is it on her or is it on all the other people who let her do this?
Hell yeah.
I know. Why didn't nobody fact checked this woman before ever? Actually, that's not true. They just kept like firing people who tried to be like, this won't work.
I think we're out of steam, but this has been one heck of a juicy app. Danny, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so honored. I mean, Sarah sings your praises all the time, Danny V. Yay. And I'm just blessed to be part of the fun. I want to join a happy hour you guys have.
Oh my God. You'd be a special
and tell everybody where they can follow you.
Follow me at Cashmere Danny, Cashmere with a K. And then also, you know where to listen to me.
Not Another True Crime Podcast.
Very true. And follow It's Vent Events.
Oh yeah, follow me. It's Vent Events. I do fun little Instagram live shows with any person from Bravo that I can get to agree to do it.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, that's the app. Super fun. Thank you again, Danny, for joining us. And we'll see you next Monday morning.
Bye.